Thought occurred to me just a second ago. You think of iconic mascots or symbols of certain cities, and Montreal, the first thing you're going to probably be thinking about is Yuppie, the old mascot from the Montreal Expos. I'm kind of thinking whoever designed Yuppie was probably foreseeing the future, because whoever designed it with orange in mind, they were probably foreshadowing the prevalence and the infestation of all the construction codes around here. Because the construction code, it's a pretty big symbol of it. They're everywhere, they're non-stop, they keep sprouting up, and I have a feeling that if an earthquake hit us and destroyed everything, those bloody codes would still be around. Yep, that's my bad joke of the day, so welcome to the Wandering Yuki Cheese Cafe, and I feel like doing another wandering edition. It's nice out, sunshine, I can actually walk around without having to wear a jacket, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be getting that freedom, and I'm downtown. Yeah, I probably highlighted downtown a while back, but I feel like checking some other parts of the hood. Let's do a little, lost my train of thought. South side of downtown. I'll admit, this is an area that I don't really visit as much, because obviously when you think downtown, you're going to think St. Catherine Street, somewhere around Place des Arts, and like I had highlighted in the past, in fact, you check the top right corner and click on the card there, you see my little pub crawl when I was on Crescent Street a while back. So, one of the main points of interest, besides here, well, not besides here, there's not really much going on. In this direction on the de la Gauchetière west, you're going to eventually hit Chinatown. No shortage of good bubble tea shops, a couple of noodle places, and etc. And many of other things too. Then a short distance afterwards, you will reach Old Montreal. Yeah, this is starting to sound like familiar territory to me. I know I was on my way to Chinatown, but I saw this and had to do a little detour because I want to share a couple of stories here. I'm outside Palais de Congrès, the big event venue that's around this part of downtown, not far from Place d'Anne. I have a few memories of being around here in the past, because this is actually where Comi-Con and I think some wedding motorcycles. There's a couple of events that do happen around here, but Comi-Con was one of the bigger ones. That still happens from time to time. I mainly remember that because in the last few years of HMV, we actually had a booth over here to sell some of our merchandise. So in addition to like some Blu-rays, DVDs of Game of Thrones and Doctor Who, because that stuff was big at the time, it was also a way to show people that, hey, by the way, we also sell blankets and Doctor Who lamps. Imagine you want to have a police box lamp? That would be kind of awesome. And you could assume that you could travel through time in there as well. And there was also the location of Otaku-Con, which, just in case you don't know what that is, it's the Japanese animation festival that happens. I ended up working that, mostly because when they said they were doing a spot for it, I said, oh, you mean Otaku-Con? So somehow just knowing what that thing was actually called is what got me into the gig in the first place. I actually weren't sure if it was going to be as popular or if you were going to make as many sales as Comi-Con, but little did they know that when they saw the sales figures, the idea was, holy crap, that actually sold? Fun fact. There, back onto La Gauchetière, and I'm now entering Chinatown. So, in case you haven't been around here, mostly around La Gauchetière and Saint Laurent where the main streets are going to be. Most of the shops are located there. Huh. Speaking of Otaku-Con, I don't know if that's when I just passed by people dressed up for the event or they're cosplaying for the heck of it. You never know with some. Célébration de la fête de double 10 de la République de Chine, Taiwan. The double 10? 20th anniversary? Well, classic CCR song. So yeah, I guess if you wanted to Let me know what that double 10 is supposed to mean, and let me know in the comments section down below. Okay. I suppose there's one benefit if you're walking down the street. You are looking around for something to eat, say, I'm kind of craving noodles. Well, good news is that you don't have any limit of options. Like maybe 20 minimum here. 20 spots you can actually grab. Funny, I haven't been around here in a long time. In fact, I think my last time I was walking around here for a dinner was the week before the pandemic had really hit. I was going out for like a Last Supper on a Saturday without realizing it would be my last supper for a long time in town. And a week later, suddenly things got serious and everything was starting to close down, so kind of strange to be back here again. There we are, back on Saint Laurent Street. I have one shop that I want to take a look at first, and then I'm gonna figure out if I need some kind of a beverage, because I'm feeling kind of thirsty and need something to eat. And just in case you forgot, Saint Laurent Street is what divides East and West Montreal, and you'll notice with the streets as well. We'll have the east side on the east of it, and the west side, well, you obviously know your directions. Alright, outside this really good noodle place, I think the store downstairs is still open, so I'm going to take a look around. Took a look around and, I'm going to hold that thought because I'm just a little south. Yes. The old Mission Brewery, or the Mission Old Brewery over here. One part that I remember the most is this mural that you're looking at right now. Musical notes transforming into the Montreal Metro. I love this piece of art. Yeah. And I'm right above the Ville-Marie Expressway too. Pretty, yeah, it's a highway. No more, no less. Yeah, looked around the market, and I did see some decent stuff over there. Plenty of varieties of noodles as well. I think I might have to make a stop around home for some of the stuff once I have a recipe that I have in mind to actually cook, rather than just checking for the sake of it. Almost lost my train of thought again. I'm gonna check back again, see if I can get that beverage I was talking about, but also, there's one shop I want to check if it's still open. If it is, great. If not, well, I'm still going to share that story. Yep, no shortage of these Korean barbecue places around here. Order as much as you want to eat and just grill it on the fire right in the middle of your table too. Noodles are pretty common out in the east, and you get a few of them around here depending on where you're looking for it. Pretty fun stuff, and you get some pretty good cuts of meat too. So far, nothing yet. Still trying to find it. Still here. Yeah, it's a little something that's called Dragon Beard Candy that I actually tried out a little while ago, like maybe several years ago. And it's a pretty interesting concept. Basically, your filling is going to be like a mix of chocolate and nuts, but the exterior of it is like some kind of threaded substance that you might be wondering about. The threads are actually taking pieces of sugar, somehow mixing it up, and then making it into threads. So I guess the threads over there are supposed to represent the dragon beard, but it's pretty tasty. If you like a light chocolatey, nutty, sugary kind of dessert that you get in small bite sizes, that's worth trying out one day. But I'm also close to a bubble tea shop, and I'm gonna try one of those out. There. So, no shortage of bubble tea places around here, but a lot of them were pretty packed, so I'm guessing everyone wanted to have some along the way. I got mine, and I'm having something that's called the Signature Golden Bubble Tea. I feel like I've had one of those a while back, but my memory is kind of drawing a blank. And for those of you who don't know what the bubble tea is, I've heard this referred to as a milk tea as well, but the big distinguishing characteristic in here is the jelly that's in here. Most of the time the jelly is going to be made out of like frozen gelatinous lychee. You could be using tapioca as well, or some other stuff that I'm kind of not familiar with. I've even seen like black or red beans that are used for some of these, giving a very unique taste. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a taste. I'll let you know what it's like. Pretty unique. Yeah, I'm kind of digging it. It's like a cold tea with a bit of milk in here. The only thing I'm sure that is kind of a, shall we say, an acquired taste is the jelly in here for the bubble tea. Not everyone's going to enjoy it. I personally like it, but I like a lot of other stuff too. Like if you were around in the 90s, like in the late 90s, then it's possible that you probably would have remembered Orbits, an old soft drink that had very similar ideas, like jelly floating on the bottom that you would drink. It was, I should say it was kind of nasty. Yeah, what the heck was I thinking back then? But I suppose, you know, young adult Nick, or 12-year-old me would have just said, hey, let's try it. I like a lot of weird things. So I'm just going to sip on this, then I'm probably going to continue my walk, see where else I go. Oh, well, this is kind of a bummer. One of my favorite spots I used to come to in the old days was this noodle place called Noodle. Handmade noodles is exactly what it's implying. You walk in, you would usually see like a chef behind the counter working up some dough, whipping on the counter, cutting it up, and then slicing, and then eventually you get them handmade and boiled. They're pretty good stuff, and it can be pretty filling too in it, and also inexpensive. Well, oh boy. My original intention was to go grab a pint over at the Midway Tavern, since it was on Saint Laurent Street anyways, but it looks like the place was closed for the moment, so I might have been a little bit too early. It's hard to tell. Some pubs are going to be open early in the day, others, they're probably going to wait till a bit later on. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. So I'm just enjoying my extra walk here, maybe find another ration elsewhere, but for now, I'm around Place des Arts. Yeah, always used to enjoy coming around here whenever the Jazz Fest was going on. I did manage to get one of the shows before. Like, one of the few shows I paid for here was actually for Van de Graaff Generator of all bands. They're not exactly a jazz band, more of the darker side of progressive rock, somewhere along the lines of King Crimson. It was their first tour in here since 1978, I think, and I managed to catch them again for the first time. And for some people who were there, because I was chatting with a few, they actually caught them back then. It was like first time in probably close to 40 years that they were touring. Unbelievable. But even then, the free shows, the drinks around here, it's all a pretty good vibe. Fun stuff. You gotta love Montreal during the summer festivities. Yeah, I'm now at Crossroads. I have a few ideas, it's just a question of which one do I want to react to. Should I stay or should I go? That is the ultimate question. Sometimes I wonder if people are looking at me whenever I film and ask, is this guy on? I'm not on anything, just bubble tea and caffeine. Normal stuff. Yeah, it may not be obvious by the sign over here, but the name of the place is Le Mal Nécessaire. Apparently it's supposed to imply that you kind of need a necessary evil around here. Some random bar that's like in the basement of the building, and I had been there before. I think it was me trying it out because I was reading some random list online about, you know, what was the list again? Yeah, basically a list of places you can check out if you're single, like, or places you can actually meet people. How that one came up on the list, I really don't know. It's apparently McKibben's, one of my favorite ones, is also listed on that too, among other ones. Beats me. Well, that's a sidetrack to say. I am back on Saint Laurent Street, going through Chinatown once more. I think the brewer that I wanted to check out today can wait for another one because I do want to highlight it eventually on another vlog in the future. So I just want to enjoy old Montreal and maybe enjoy a terrasse around there while they're still open once more. And then I'm probably going to get a nice supper, try something else new. Obviously not going to be pizza because I did make pizza earlier today. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing, despite what some people will tell you. Let's keep walking down and eventually sit down for a tasty beverage. see vintage license plates, imitation ones, ones that immortalize Quebec slang. Yeah, why not? You could put a bit of everything over here. Anyways, decided I was going to come back down here to my old spot from the last time I was in Old Montreal, Brewski's Pub. But unlike the last time where I was like out in the front, I'm coming on the back side of it instead, because that's another one that I enjoy going to, and it's going to be a little bit more daylight on this side than the other side. So I want to take advantage of that. Plus, again, the brewer that I wanted to go to before has a few locations, and I want to kind of save that for another vlog in the near future. Just get out of the way. Gotta love the cobblestone roads around here. It's well preserved. There's a nice European feel in Montreal. Huh. Well, I think I have to go to the other side instead. Oh well. Well, that's kind of strange. There was always two sides to Brewski's. This side over here that's on St. Paul, and the other one that was on de la Commune. This one seemed to be closed for reasons I'm not going to understand, so I have no choice but to go to the front again. Either way, should be some good beverages on tap. Unlike Benelux, where I kind of know everything that they have, this one is always something brand new to try. Yeah, I kind of wanted to film some footage of me having the beer over there like last time, but the problem was, it's getting a little windy, so I'm sure that would interfere with the sound of my camera, and also it's getting kind of chilly too, as you can notice by the long sleeve shirt over here. It's like 20 degrees right now, but it sure don't feel like 20 degrees. Let's face it, the sun sets a bit earlier over here. I'm right by the water. It is October after all. You know, it's gonna happen now. But now that I've done that, I'm gonna find my way to a little restaurant because I gotta munch on something. I feel a little peckish right now, so let's see what I'm in the mood for. Okay, so as luck would have it, one spot I want to hit up, turns out it's closed for a private event. Lovely. That's just what I needed. Well, time for plan B. Ooh. Okay, this is actually a pretty nice spot here. Restaurant Bevo, nice pizzeria slash bar. I actually came here on, it was like September 2019, just before flying off to Italy. Guess I want to have an Italian meal before actually getting the real Italian. Okay, I have an idea now. It looks like my idea is kind of blocked off too. Okay, I need to find something eventually. So, options 1 and 2 didn't seem to work out, although options 2 seemed to work out a little bit better because I was able to get a spot on the bar. The place I'm at is right now the William Gray Terrasse over in Old Montreal. So, if you've been around Old Montreal, you'll know there's a lot of terraces on the rooftop hotels that are pretty common around here and typical, and you get a really nice view of the area, as you probably saw earlier in the video. Really cool, some good brews around here, and even some good food. Now, in case you're wondering what I'm going to be having tonight, it's one of my typical dishes I've kind of hooked on for the last few years. A little bit of beef tartare, except instead of the toast, I've got some mini pita breads here. Sorry, I don't want to look a fool on camera. As much of a fool as I can be. But pretty good. Super satisfying. Fries here are excellent, and also the brews are okay. The one I have on tap is going to be a Cheval Blanc from the Brasserie RJ, I want to say. Just in case you don't know what that is, if you've ever seen Ben Good and Stars, that's the same brewer that does that as well. So Ben Good's like the regular stuff, and then they do some of the fancy stuff. Cheval Blanc double hop, and then some other ones that are like triple IPAs, Death Valley IPAs, and etc. So yeah, like I said, I love these places. I love the view, just the vibe also. You'll notice too the loungy techno music that's played over in the background, like a far cry from my classic rock, old man rock kind of vibe that I like. But once in a while it's fine. I like it too. Yeah, not even 7 o'clock and it's already starting to get dark. That's a surefire sign that summer's starting to come to an end over here. And we're gonna have to endure 6 months of winter like a fucking idiot we are. Yeah, you can forget about that. So, not a bad run at the Will and Gray terrasse. And I'll admit, last time I was there was probably around 2019, like pre-pandemic. So it was kind of nice to be able to experience that again for the first time in ages. It wasn't quite like peak summer period, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. And now I'm walking around St. Paul Street just to kind of enjoy the sights and sounds and some of the liveliness around here and just ease myself. And I think I'm going to probably need to get some coffee as usual, because you know what? Some kind of rejuvenation potion, nobody's going to object to that too. Now let's go try to find some. So, found a nice little date dinner along St. Paul Street where I got a nice Americano with a bit of milk in it just to caffeinate myself a little bit to get to the way home, and it was beautiful. Plus I noticed the cashier had an N64, a Nintendo 64 shirt on, so that gives some bonus points. There's a buddy of mine that keeps pointing out it's the 25th anniversary of that system. Like, hard to believe, it's already been 25 years since it was released. God, I'm getting old. Whatever the case, I'm now at Panama. And before you smartasses decide to start singing the Van Halen song, Panama, no, that's not what I'm talking about. Panama is the bus terminal in Brossard. And now I'm just going to wait until I get the ride home and then just take it easy. Possibly with a little bit of chamomile tea. So on that note, thanks for watching this edition of the Warnayuki Cheese Cafe. And if you like what you see, then you can hit that subscribe button below. Give me this video a thumbs up, leave a comment or a suggestion if you have any other ideas for future episodes, and keep spreading the bad jokes. See you all later. Oh yeah. The COVID vaccine center over here in Panama used to be a Loblaws, and I could tell because I never took down a lot of the signage. The fish section was the inscription area. What am I talking about again? Okay, good night.